This is a Reconstructionist radio production. Please visit chalcedon.edu to download or purchase this book. The Philosophy of the Christian Curriculum, Rousas J. Rushdoony, Ross House Books, Vallecito, California. Part 1. Chapter 2. Changing a Curriculum. Basic to a sound educational enterprise is a changing curriculum. Precisely because a sound curriculum has as its foundation an unchanging faith in the sovereign and triune God and His infallible Word, it will therefore recognize that man and his problems will change and develop. The area of the unchanging is in God and eternity, not in time and man. When China adopted a relativistic faith in change as ultimate, its education became static and unchanging because no transcendental God and law remained to provide a critique of history or a principle of differentiation. Without an absolute law, all things are relative and equal, equally important, and at the same time equally meaningless. At the moment, one option may seem better than another, but who is to judge that the moment has any meaning, or that options are anything but illusions? The static nature of the curriculum is apparent in language studies, which are still geared to an absolute world. Latin was once the language of scholarship and an international language. Its only value now is to historians and classical scholarship. Greek and Hebrew are important to a Christian society, but basically only to the biblical scholarship of that society. German, and to a degree French, are of value to potential historians, and to the limited few who travel extensively, but to few others. The influence of politics has led to some stress on Russian and Chinese, but a wiser economic perspective would stress Japanese, for Japan is today the world's second greatest industrial power. The potential development of Brazil might be important to curriculum makers and merits consideration. Briefly, foreign studies need to be geared to reality, not to the past. Similarly, in mathematics, much of the curriculum is important to future mathematicians, not to the overwhelming majority of pupils. Mathematicians should be geared more to management, accounting, and a variety of practical needs of the modern world. Such a revision of the curriculum would actually require upgrading the content of the mathematics curriculum rather than a cheapening of it. In literature, not the craft of the writer, but the expressions of ideas, faiths, and cultures merits serious attention and is most needed by the student. The Bible and biblical law are basic to any sound curriculum and cannot be excluded without inviting educational anarchy. Economics is a basic requirement of every sound curriculum and should be a thorough analysis of theory and practice. The sound curriculum will be the relevant curriculum, and relevancy requires two factors: a world of absolutes and a world of change. It is not enough to hold to God's absolutes. They must be continually and freshly related to the changing times. Relevancy is more than subjects. It is also a faith which makes connections, establishes relationships, and grows by its ability to bring things into meaningful and useful relationships. This involves the personal element. A retarded 4th grade boy placed in Fairfax Christian School, Fairfax, Virginia, in the school year of 1969 to 1970, was later tested by psychologists and found to have an IQ of 76. Nonetheless, this boy in a school of superior children scored on standard national achievements tests at the end of the year at grade or above grade at all points. Basic to this success was a sound curriculum and thoughtful Christian teachers. A curriculum cannot be relativistic without failure, but it must be relevant. In this case, both curriculum and teachers brought Christian relevance to the boy with outstanding success.
The Reconstructionist Radio Podcast Network brings to you a complete lineup of podcasts where you will hear practical and tactical theology. Our desire is not simply that you consume our shows, but that you also live out your faith in every area of life. We can talk all day long about these things, but if we fail to put them into practice, then we fail as ambassadors of Jesus Christ, our King. Subscribe now to your favorite Reconstructionist Radio Podcast Network shows. Or you can subscribe to the Reconstructionist Radio Master Feed, where all of the content we produce, including the audiobooks and audio articles, will pop up as soon as they are available. And don't forget to visit ReconstructionistRadio.com to volunteer as a narrator or to partner with this ministry financially. May the Holy Spirit stir you into action for Christ and His kingdom.